This is a 2009 Volkswagen Tiguan. I was buying a dirt bike and I saw this thing for sale on the side of the road. I hit up the seller and I was like, hey, what's going on, man? Is this thing still for sale? What's wrong with it? Tell me about it. It was posted up for 1,500 bucks. There was a sticker on the side with his phone number. It said 2009 Tiguan, 120 something thousand miles. And here's the picture of the text message I sent to him and our back and forth about the car before I came and looked at it again after I saw it. So I messaged him when I saw the picture on his window of his phone number. Hey, are you able to start at the Tiguan for me? I'm outside looking at it and I'm interested. I was really far away from home and I wanted him to come out. I called him twice, he didn't answer. So I sent him this text. He never responded. I reached out again. Let me know when I can come back and see it. The next day he messaged me. It needs a battery and an intake cam. It runs, but when you try and drive it, it starts to misfire. The diagnostic the seller gave me when I showed up, it has a bad camshaft. And I was like, and my first thought behind that was, there's no way it's a bad camshaft. How could he possibly even know that? I asked him what the symptoms were and who diagnosed it. So he said that he's been doing a bunch of work on it. He spent thousands of dollars on it. And he doesn't know what else to do. So he's done the timing chain, he did all the gaskets. He's done, a bunch of different sensors and everything like that. 2 years this thing's been posted for sale on the side of this road, just like this in the video. And me and one of my mechanics came out there and talked him down to $1,200. So the next day I loaded up my 1,200 bucks in the old Dirty Max, rented out a trailer for $80, then came out there, picked that thing up, brought it back home. So it would idle fine, start right up with a jump because it had a dead battery. And then after that, it would misfire after driving it for a little bit. You couldn't give it anything over 10% throttle. So I checked the codes and this is what came up. Cylinder 2 misfire detected. So typical Auto 101 class, what you do for checking out a misfire, how to diagnose, is you pop this cover off here. Here are the ignition coils. And the spark plugs are underneath. That's what provides spark to the engine. And when those go bad, which they do all the time, it's gonna throw a misfire code. So what I did is this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It said cylinder 2. So I took the coil out of the cylinder 2, put it in cylinder 1. Then I took the spark plug out of cylinder 2 and put it into cylinder 3. These are all interchangeable. You could change them out. And then what you do is you go drive it again. So if it showed cylinder 3 misfire, we know it's the spark plug. If it shows cylinder 1 misfire, it shows you it's the ignition coil. So as you can see, the ignition coil is brand new because I replaced it because it switched to the cylinder 1 on the scanner after I tried to drive it again. So I replaced that coil, $30 at AutoZone, same day, had it in stock, popped it in there, no tools. Just squeeze this, take it off, pop it out, pop a new one in, put that clip back on, fixed. Drives perfect. Idles start right up, drives great, absolutely no problems. And so now I have a super reliable, it's got all the timing stuff done. It's got an aluminum water pump. He's done a ton of gaskets, every single one in the motor, even the main seal, which is a big problem. And then he upgraded it to the better design on the main seal because sometimes the main seal will suck in tranny fluid and then it would cause a misfire as well. So that's been replaced and a whole bunch of other stuff. So brand new battery, and I got a great looking car for about $1,220, and I have an 09 Tiguan with 120K on it, clean title, no accident, and a huge maintenance history report. So I took some great pictures of it. Here are the pictures that I took after kind of cleaning it up a little bit. Now that it runs good, let's take care of some of this nasty Arizona paint on the hood. So as you can see now, the hood looks great. Now what I did is I took 3,000 grit sandpaper. I started with 3,000 just to be safe, but you get some sandpaper like this. This is 2,000. Same exact thing though. Get the 3,000. Start with higher than what you think you need. So we're gonna work our way down to 2,000 if it doesn't work. So I'm gonna show you, this is kind of what the hood used to look like, and after sanding it, that's what it looks like now. So you sand it down, it's gonna look super scratched up. Look, this is before and this is after. Huge difference. So I'm gonna finish up the top here and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I did it. I'm probably not going to do the entire thing or show you the entire thing because it's just kind of a long process. You just sand it down with wet sandpaper, 3000 grit. It's going to look super scratched up. You could see a little bit left of my scratches here. I didn't fully polish it out or compound it out, but I could continue doing that, get the rest of these little scratches out, and it's gonna look beautiful. You can't revive paint that looks like this. Here's the secret trick that I found out while doing this, is you take some soapy water or just normal water. You take some of your soapy water and you apply it to the area where the paint is bad, and you're gonna look. If you wipe it, you want it to be kind of wet, and you can see the paint looks great as it's wet. And you can tell here, the paint's not so great when it's wet. You can see there's still a bunch of stuff underneath it. So this is unrevivable painting area, and this is revivable. If it looks great when it's wet, it's gonna dry here in a second. It's kind of just dirty, so it's not drying as well as it should. But when you get it wet and it looks great like this, that's how the hood was. So I'd get it wet and it would look like that. So that kind of tells you that the clear coat is still in good condition. It might still look like this a little bit. As you can see, it's a little bit cloudy, but from a far distance, this paint looks great. So we're gonna take our sandpaper, sand it down, and then this is what I used to do the finishing portion here. It's this Meguiar's Mirror Glaze Professional Ultra Cut Compound. As you can see, it's ultra fast cutting, removes 1200 grit or finer sanding marks. So you can see the arrows all the way up to the top. I first tried this stuff, which is made by the same company, but it's not as fine of a cut, or it's not as heavy as a cut. So this did not do the job after I sanded it with 2000 grit sandpaper. This took out the 2000 grit. So this still had scratches after I would, you know, kind of like up there where there was still residual scratches. I can get those out with this. So this stuff is great. It was really expensive. It was like $50, huge bottle. Never gonna use it all, but it's a great cut compound. It works really well. It turned my hood looking amazing, which increased the value of the car tremendously for sure. They didn't even complain about a sun-faded paint. And he was even saying that there was a car that they looked at before that had sun-faded paint and they didn't like it because of it. And look at that. Mine was probably worse than what that one that he looked at before was, so. I negotiated with the customer to fix the motor mounts for an extra $50 and to close the sale tomorrow. He was hesitant about buying it, and he said, if you fix the motor mount, I'll buy it tomorrow for $3,800. And I said, pay for half the mount and you got a deal. So I replaced this mount. I just pulled it out right now. As you can see, this one's solid. This one, I'm gonna hold my foot on it. The whole thing just comes out all ripped up. You can see a big old crack right there. Pretty worn. Got this new one. Looking good. I mean, I don't know, it still has some play in it for sure, but I feel like the motor's still gonna move a lot, even though the mount is brand new. But we're gonna place it anyway, it needed it. So put this back in here, like so. Super easy. Right there. Just need to jack up the motor a little bit. Put these bolts in here. Boop. And boom. 2 right here and 1 right here. It's that easy. And I just have a jack in the back right here, or in the front, on the oil pan with some wood underneath it to protect it. And now we're just gonna buzz these in with the old $20 Walmart impact. this bad boy out. Boom. Slowly here. So he just gave me $1,000 in hand to hold the car for him till tomorrow, because he looked at it, everything was great. It's going to a first driver, 16-year-old girl, and it's a done deal tomorrow. So we're making about 2,200 bucks or so. I bought it for 1,200. I put a $30 coil in it, and I bought the $50 cut compound for it. So now, what is that total? Like probably, you know, $1,300 total. And then also including a battery, which was $200. Excuse me. The battery was $200 as well. So the grand total equals out to this right here. And then the sale price was $3,850. So our total profit is about $2,200 on this car. And I had it up. Here's the for sale listing. I'm going to show you guys a listing of when I bought it and also when I sold it. So here's the for sale listing that I've made.